Hey YouTubers, you good? Dylan Corner here, bringing a deck profile. Today we have a budget build deck called Empty Jar. The win condition of the deck is to deck your opponent out by making them draw or mill all the cards in their deck, so you win by default. It's a pretty cheap build. It's probably anywhere around from 20 to 40 currently. Everything comes common besides the dualities, so it's cheap to make, and it's can FTK or OTK your opponent, and it's semi-competitive. So let's get to it. You have one Morphing Jar, the main card in the deck. If you get this first turn, you typically can OTK or FTK. You and your opponent discard your hands and draw 5. You just abuse him in the deck. 2 Needleworms. I found 3 to be too many for me. It's where you get your deck advantage over them, so they have less cards in deck than you. It's a flip effect. You and your only your opponent mills 5 from the top of their deck. 1 Sanguine. It can search anything in the deck, but I typically use it for Morphing Jar. I'm typically not using it if I already have Morphing on the field. I guess I could get an AD changer if necessary. 3 Mystic Tomatoes. Mystic Tomatoes are in here just to search out the Sanguine. I run this over Giant Rat because Giant Rat brings it to the field, and there's too many cards that can either remove or pop cards on the field, so I don't want my Morphing Jar in grave if I don't have a Shallow Grave in hand. I will be replacing these with Tour Guides though once it comes out, so that'll increase the deck price of this a little bit, but Tour Guide is just a better card since this can only be destroyed by battle. And then you have 3 AD Changers. AD Changers pretty amazing. It helps this deck work. You banish this card from the graveyard to change position of one monster on the field. So if Morphing Jar is face down, it puts it in attack mode, which forces it to flip. Since it's not considered a flip summon when that happens, they can't Trenchal, Solemn Warning you, or Solemn Judgment that. So you can pretty much keep going with your business no matter what they have in the back. Pretty amazing. 1 Night Assailant. I mainly use his just only one of his effects, and when he's discarded to the graveyard from hand, add 1 flip effect monster from graveyard to hand. It's to get either Morphing Jar or Needleworm, or just to make cards that are typically a -2 and make it a -1, or make a card that's -1 0, just so you have more cards to discard for other cards. I run 3 Shift Scarecrows. I run this to over Battle Fader because you only have to discard this, and it doesn't have to be towards grave in case they have a Deep Fissure or Necrocosmos, and Battle Fader can be Solemn Warning, so I just found it to work better. 3 Dualities. I run 3 because it increases the chance of drawing a duality, not that you need it. It just can help you add Morphing to the hand or any of your books to start your combo. And you just discard the others when you draw them. Pretty simple. 1 Card Destruction. This helps you win games. Typically, you want to get this card like last. You can set your hand, discard your hand with other card effects, and activate Card Destruction, so you draw less than your opponent, and it can help deck them out. 3 Shallow Graves. Combos really well with other cards in the deck. You can get your Morphing Jar, so let's say if you Foolish Burial your Morphing Jar, activate Shallow Grave, they don't need a monster in the graveyard for you to activate this, and you can start your combo from there. Or if you go through your combo, you draw Shallow Grave, you can Shallow Grave a Needleworm to Needleworm them later in the duel. The only issue is that if you activate Duality, you can't activate that the same turn, but you don't need Shallow Grave to win all the time. Book of Moon, it just flips your Morphing Jar back face down or your Needleworm. It's a quick play. So if I flip my Morphing Jar face up with AD Changer or Book of Taiyu, and they chain effect failure, I can chain Book of Moon since it's a quick play, and it will book it face down, so they'll miss their target, and the Morphing Jar's effect will still go off. So it's pretty good that it's a quick play. 3 Book of Eclipse. If the book's all face up monsters face down on the field, and your opponent draws 1, for each face down monster on his side of the field during the end phase of the turn this was activated. So if you shallow grave and they have a monster, it doesn't matter that Book of Eclipse didn't book it face down, they'll still draw a card if you activate a Book of Eclipse that turn. You can also chain it like Book of Moon if they activate effects failure. When you flip Morphing Jar face up, you chain Book of Eclipse from hand, and they'll miss your target. 3 Book of Taiyu. It's not a quick play, which is actually pretty good since you can set this and activate it later in the turn. Since you can't activate quick plays the turn you set them, it just flips your Morphing Jar and Needleworms face up, and you abuse them. 2 Magical Stones. Discard 2 cards, get 1 magic card from graveyard to hand. You can get Foolish Barrel, and then you can Foolish Barrel another 80 changer if you don't have any of the books. You can get your Book of Taiyus, Book of Eclipse, Shallow Graves. It pretty much gets you anything. You can even get Card Destruction. So, I like running these. 1 Monster Reincarnation. This helps you get your Morphing Jar to hand, maybe if you don't have a Shallow Grave, or if you activate Duality, and you can just set it and then start your combo. It combos well with Night Assailant. You can activate Monster Reincarnation, drop the Night Assailant, target Night Assailant with Monster Reincarnation, and then the Night Assailant effect will get you a flip effect monster, making it so you don't minus, and it's a 0. 1 Foolish Barrel. You can Foolish Barrel 80 changers, Needleworm, or Morphing Jar mainly. 3 One Day of Peace. You and your opponent both draw 1 card, and you don't take any type of damage until the end of their next turn. It's really good if you happen to get like all 3 off, and then you Card Destruction them. And because typically you would have set some cards, so they're gonna, you know, discard 8, draw 8. And it protects you in case you don't have the FTK or OTK. You can just activate 1 Day of Peace. 3 Upstarts. You have enough cards in the deck that makes your opponent mill or discard more than you, so the 3 Upstarts is just to make this card a 40 card deck to get the Morphing Jar as fast as possible. And life points don't matter since you're decking them out. And then you have 2 Hand Destructions. Quick plays. You and your opponent both send 2 cards to draw 2 cards. It just adds to getting Morphing Jar and decking them out. So that's the deck. So let me get to the side deck and I'll explain why I didn't run some things that you see in other builds. First I have 2 Lava Golems. In case I'm matching a 6 Samurai deck, because you're going to see what they're running because of all the discarding, so you're going to know what they have. If they have a 6 Samurai deck, and if they have Shogun Xian or a 6 Samurai Xian, or if they have Noctory Beast, typically a 6 Samurai deck, you can activate, you can sack their monsters with Lava Golem to get that out of the way. And then you cannot set or normal summon the turn you special summon this to their side of the field, but you can Shallow Grave your Morphing Jar, so you can still have the option of OTKing. It also gets rid of anything that Dinos succeed into. 1 Flavor Milk Queen, same idea with the Lava Golem, but it's a 1 sack in case they don't special summon that much. 1 extra Needleworm in case they don't have cards that really pop. I could side in the Needleworm, especially if I'm versing Insectors, which I expect them to side in the Defissure. I'll take maybe the 80 changers out, and if I'm going second, I'll put in the Needleworm to help them, I don't know. I guess it wouldn't work with Insectors. It would just be for a slower deck that attacks more and doesn't pop. After that, I run the Heavy Storm, because they're going to side some back row, and they're going to go first if you didn't win the dice roll. I mean, if you beat them, they're going to side for you. So just get the Heavy Storm. I side 3D Fissures because besides the Shallow Graves and 80 changers, if I'm versing a Dark World deck, it's going to give them all their effects, and I'm the opponent, so they're going to get extra effects off of that. So side Defissure, it messes up Dark Worlds, and if you can mill them out enough, they're not going to really have any cards to play with. So pretty good. You don't need to side all 3, sometimes you can just side the 2. 3 MSTs, you know, maybe if it goes to duel 3, and I see they have some serious back row hate, or even duel 2, I'll maybe side the MSTs. Then I want to talk about some cards I didn't run. Magical Mallet. I could side it in if I take out maybe an AD changer to help get the Morphing Jar or anything I need, but it's still a minus, and I just didn't find room in the deck for it. It's okay. Feather the Phoenix. I ran the Magical Stones and the Monster Incarnations over these because you mainly just need to get the magic cards, and you don't need them to go to the top of the deck, you need them to go to the hand. And your Morphing Jar every turn, so you can typically afford the double discard. With Feather the Phoenix, it goes to the top of the deck, and then you need to upstart or want to piece into it, and you don't always have that. And if it's a Book of Eclipse or Book of Moon that you're top decking, and you don't have anything to draw that with, to continue your combo, it kind of messes you up. So I don't like running Feather the Phoenix. Sealer Spell. It's fun to play. It can win you games. You have to be card destruction, chain Sealer Spell, and then your opponent gets 2 card destruction effects, pretty much. I just found it being too situational, and it was a quick play, so you couldn't really set it and then activate it later. One Barrel. Good card. Some people teched it in for the 80 changers that you banish and you just return them in the grave. But you have already 3 Book of Taiyus and 3 80 changers. I didn't find you need to use 80 changer anymore. You have a lot of cards that flip face up, and not as many cards that flip face down. So that's my side deck, and I think I covered everything. I'll be posting an updated version of this maybe in a couple months with maybe the tour guides and some nice surprises for the deck. Besides that, that's pretty much the deck. You don't really run an extra deck, but I would suggest siding 15 cards anyway, so if they go first, you know, they assume they're matching up with some meta deck. And you know, that's it. Please rate and subscribe and like the video. Thank you. Have a good day.